Hello and welcome back, you beautiful people watching this stream who have stuck around till the fifth round of Gamster's second season of the Heypal Oceanic Paladins tournament. It is the first week, the last round. We have Vxtrum versus Rogue Warfare we'll be bringing to you guys. And it should be a fairly entertaining match, seeing as both teams have so far performed to fairly even calibers, I'd like to say. Would you agree on that, Matt?
Yeah, I feel like both teams are on pretty even footing, LeBoy. It'll be interesting to see how each of those teams come out within the next few weeks. If they end up playing each other a lot, potentially could see one of them taking the other's spot on the power rankings.
As we get underway with the Champ Select, we have Vxtrum on the blue side and Rogue Warfare on the red side. Makoa being picked straight away for Vxtrum. Xylos locking him in straight away. Now, as counter picks, Ruckus and Bomb King, some fairly decent picks there as well, but that then allows the Andro Drogos to come out. I'd say they're going to pick Androxus, and potentially they could go Inara and completely ruin the potential Ruckus Inara that Rogue Warfare could go for. I'd say Andro is probably a certain pick, but then if they want to answer with an Inara or a Maldamba to counter it, then I'd say that could be an option. Charlene being taken, though, which then allows them... Oh, that's actually a decent pick, because if Rogue Warfare want to take Andro and Drogo, they could. But that would then leave them with only either a healer as their fifth or a second tank as their fifth. So I'd say that's fairly well played by the side of Vxtrum. So Inara and Ceres being locked in, do you reckon they're going to take the Andro Drogos?
They could take the Andro Drogos. Honestly, it would be strong, but maybe they might opt to take a second tank alongside probably a Drogos, but we'll have to see. Both players, Zevenator and Bugs, just hovering at the moment, just waiting. And Pip's being hovered, actually. And Kinessa, I definitely wasn't expecting that out of Vxtrum. And it's going to be locked in. Well, I'm very curious how this is going to play out, LeBoy.
I'd say the Drogos or Andro is probably a certain fifth pick. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Like, initially I had some thoughts that maybe the Rogue Warfare players were going to try and go for a Kinessa themselves, but that's obviously been taken off them by Vxtrum there. And it's going to be Androxus locked in. So, keen to see how it works out.
Yeah, giving VP the Kinessa, he can pull off some hot plays when he's on fire. He really is. You need an extinguisher to get rid of him, because he can be lethal. Bugs, though, taking Pip and Lizlak on Charlene, not picks you often see, whereas Mitchell is very comfortable on Andro, Zambi's comfortable on Ceres, and all of the players for Rogue Warfare are on comfort picks, where I'm not too sure if Bugs and Lizlak are going to live up to their expectations, having picked Charlene and Pip. No Drogos for the first time tonight. That mightn't be the best decision from them, but we'll just have to wait and see as the match gets underway. Don't go away, guys. It's the last match. Try and soldier it out till the end. We'll be right back.
for the...
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match we'll be covering today. And the final match, which could potentially determine the outcome of the results of the scoreboard. It is going to be Vxtrum on the blue side versus Rogue Warfare on the red side. Two teams that have shown just how deadly they can be. They've got a lot of caliber in both sides. So it's a little hard to predict this match, actually. I'd say that the teams are pretty much even, and based on the results we've seen tonight, it's pretty hard to call. But Matt, do you agree that it might be a close one, or do you have a side that you think edges it out just that slight bit?
Well, personally, I feel like Vxtrum has the edge in this matchup, just purely for the fact that Rogue Warfare are using a couple of subs tonight, so maybe they don't have, you know, as much experience together as the players on Vxtrum have. So I'm going to pick Vxtrum here, but I think it certainly will be close, nonetheless.
I feel like however this match goes, whether it goes in the favor of Vxtrum or Rogue Warfare, it will be a close one. I think maybe a 4-3 result or a 4-2, if not that, will be definite. I do not see a 4-1 or a 4-0 stomp, seeing as the teams, as they are fairly balanced, seeing as although Rogue Warfare do have a couple of subs, I'd say they won the draft by a long shot. I mean, Kinessa, Charlene, and Pip being priority picks, not the best decision, as VB gets taken out straight away by Blader Shakuras on Bomb King, which is going to give Rogue Warfare some nice wiggle room to push this point. Lizlak is going to try to get dived straight away by Ruckus. He does back out. He's in a very bad situation. Lizlak might go down. He is getting slowly picked, 38 health, managing to escape just to Xylos's aid, giving him the heals. Kuhn pushing in, although he was predicting the stun from Charlene, so he put up his totem straight away and prevented the stun. They almost had it. Rogue Warfare 4% away, but a nice little retake come out here from Vxtrum.
It was really great to see that Zevenator put his life on the line as Rogue Warfare were edging towards the end of that push there, and Zev just managed to get on the point and do what he could to stop that from being completed. So, well played to Zevenator there. But, it's getting real close here. Will the side of Vxtrum be able to take Rogue Warfare off the point here? It seems like the Rogues are managing to get all the picks they need to, as there 4 of the members of Vxtrum go down. Goodbye Vxtrum. Rogue Warfare takes the first point, LeBoy.
Yeah, that wasn't a surprise to me, seeing as I think in order for Vxtrum to be successful, they're going to need to gather ults. Because once they combine, say, Maldambas and Pips, that could be extremely deadly. Or Pips Kinessas could be deadly. Nice use of the teleport there from VP to get away from the Inara ult. Putin does take out Xyloso, which means no more healing, forcing the tanks back. Zeb's going to need to back off ASAP if he's going to want to stay alive. Buggs does have some healing on Pip, but it just isn't enough to try and keep Makoa alive. I think he is playing the acrobatics Pip as he is. He is jumping insanely high, getting up, trying to maneuver around this map as best as possible. He is using Pip as more of a flank. He has to get all the way back into spawn right now, as Rogue Warfare are fairly comfortable with this push. A minute 30 on the clock, and the point is right there in their sight. They're going to need to dive on it. They don't, unfortunately, and that is going to be 2-0 straight away for Rogue Warfare.
Definitely very well played towards the Rogue Warfare players, LeBoy. I feel like coming down to their draft is what's giving them a clear advantage coming into this game. Obviously, Vxtrum only having the Charlene, Kinessa, and potentially Pip to really get any damage output there. And Rogue Warfare are doing a great job at shutting down the Kinessa as best they can. And I feel like that's what's giving them so much success here.
Vxtrum's downfall was really taking Kinessa and Pip as their last two when Andrew hadn't been selected and Rogue Warfare still had a pick left. You're picking a Kinessa into a possible Androxus. No, if you're gonna play Kinessa, build the team around her. Let Kinessa do what she has to do, but make sure she's not getting flanked like Andra is doing right as we see there. Pops the ult. Mitchell gets another one. A good ult from Ceres there. Mitchell going off. Shakura's with one. Lizlak, Zevenator taking some kills for Valkyrie. Oh, not Valkyrie, Vxtrum. It's basically Valkyrie though. I mean, they have half the same members. Zev actually, one of the former Wildfire members, has been a nice little addition, and so far his Makoa has probably been the best player for Vxtrum so far. Would you agree, Matt?
I feel like he has been so far. Definitely must have a lot to bring to the table since coming out of Wildfire, but we'll have to see as the Vxtrum players start to run onto the point once again. The Bomb King ultimate comes out though from the Rogue Warfare players. Blade managing to get a nice pick onto Xylos, and Coot managing to get another one in turn onto Buggs. And there's still a bit of fire being thrown on the point. Zevenator on such low health. Will he be able to get taken out? And Calder manages to finally close that out. Mitchell getting himself a nice double kill there as well. And I think Rogue Warfare may be on the road towards victory here.
I believe that they could wrap this up 4-0. It really is their undoing, picking the Kinessa, knowing that they could get counterpicked with a flank. I mean, you can't afford to do that, especially when Rogue Warfare have a player of Androx's caliber like Mitchell who can land shots with. We've seen him go ham on Androxus tonight. We know what he's capable of, and letting him have him while you're picking Kinessa is only going to be a detriment, as he again takes a nice easy kill onto VP. There's nothing he can do to respond. He gets flanked straight away too easily. Buggs just isn't doing a whole lot. I mean, he stays alive, he heals while he can, but he's a very, very passive character. He can heal to a decent extent, he can do damage to a decent extent, but he's not a champ you can go onto point and 1v1 with, so that might not be the best pick. VP getting a nice one onto Shakura's though, and takes Calder all the way down to basically nothing. Xylos does pop the ult, and he gets a nice stun actually onto Mitchell. VP might be able to finish it up. Buggs does finalize that kill there. VP trying to stay alive, gets some hits, a nice hook from Zev on the Makoa there, finished off by Lizlak taking down Krug on the Inara. Very nice hold there from Vxtrum. This could be the turning point for them. Hopefully it is. Wouldn't want to see them get 4-0'd, especially not in the final match. Matt, do you think they can hold this, and how do you think the rest of the game is going to go?
I feel like if they work together effectively, they may be able to hold this, but obviously with the champions they have, it's going to be very difficult. Hopefully the rest of the members from Vxtrum, aside from VP, can hold off and distract the members of Rogue Warfare, so then VP can just work from afar. But obviously that's not going to happen at this point, as Blade of Securius has taken him right out of the equation, and the rest of the members of Rogue Warfare are just flying onto the point, trying to get as many picks as possible to finish out this game. Zevenator's popped the Ancient Rage there, trying to do what he can to stall the point for his team, but will it be enough? It appears it might be, as VP gets a nice pick onto Mitchell, and Zev gets one of his own onto Calder, and VP comes out with another one onto Blade. Buggs gets one onto Coons, and it's going to be a successful defense here, boy.
That could have been game set match for Vxtrum, but Rogue Warfare unfortunately couldn't get that push in. They did use a couple ults to try their best, but unfortunately it didn't come out that way. They still have the Inara ult, and the Rux ult is not far behind, whereas for the side of Vxtrum, Pip has his, and it is a game changer, as long as Maldem as well, almost having that ult up. Charlene as well getting close, but a few ults will pop towards the end of that last fight. A very nice defense from Vxtrum to give them a point back. It is still 3-1 in Rogue Warfare's favor. They're going to have to pull off almost a miracle to try and bring this back, but it is very, very doable.
And here we go, getting into the next push here. Both teams heading towards the point. Zevenator taking charge for the Vxtrum boys. And Pip has popped his ultimate, not managing to get too many people, I think. But here comes VP with a nice pick onto Blade. And how do you think things are going to go from here, boy?
I think the missed ult from Buggs on the Pip might be their undoing. They tried to get Inara, but no one helped capitalize. And then Inara just turned around and stunned Makoa, trying to get him out of the fight. And I believe they did pick him off fairly quickly. So decently played from Rogue Warfare to play passively and I suppose bait the Pip ult out, seeing as he hadn't used it and they knew they had it. So letting him try and get that ult off the board was perhaps a good decision from them. Coon diving in, trying to stay alive. The wall comes up to try and protect him. Xyla staying on point, staying alive reasonably well actually. Trying to do his best, keeping his team alive. And there's actually a nice capture for Vxtrum as Ruckus pops his ult. But unfortunately, not a whole lot as VP manages to get a nice triple indeed. Sitting back, remaining uncontested so far. There's another one for him. Very nice indeed from the Veepmeister himself. Would you like some pie? Vpie says yes. Doing very well. Shakuras and Mitchell need to focus him down a bit more.
Vpi did such a great job there at distracting the members of Rogue Warfare, allowing his team to just capture that point. Definitely, that surprised me. But hopefully Vxtrum can maintain the success that they've started to see.
They're definitely improving their game, and they're allowing VP to sit back. They're protecting him a little better. I actually saw VP and Lizlak, since they have the range on the Kinessa Charlene, they can sit together and they can do damage together. Once one person comes in and tries to take them on, he can get a stun, Lizlak can pin him against the wall, and then VP can finish off with a headshot, which it could work. It has been working, and it could be a strat that more teams start to use, seeing as they might have introduced a new strategy to the meta right now, the Kinessa Charlene combo.
You could be right there, but Blade of Shakura says no as he gets a nice triple kill onto the players of Vxtrum, halting the offense right towards the edge. So there may be one more push in the members of Vxtrum here. But we'll just have to see as they almost have all 5 ultimates, Maldamba being 1% off there, LeBoy. So here we go.
With 36 seconds left on the clock, if they wanted to commit to this, they very well could. There's no rush to do so, though. If Rogue Warfare pick up the defense, it doesn't count as a point. Seeing as it is a defense, they need to get a cap to win. So if Rogue Warfare want to sit back and hold their ults, they're going to have to, because if it looks like the ults might not come out. I think Charlene's did, but that was it for Vxtrum. It's a bit odd to see them just use one, but not committing any more than that. So Charlene is going to not have his ult for this next fight, and I don't think Androxus will either. Kalta's doing really nicely so far on Ruckus. Has been getting some nice pick damage. There he goes, another one, helping Blade of Shakuras take out Bugs, and that's a nice defense from Rogue Warfare. They have 4 ults on the board. Androxus is the only one without it, and Charlene is the only one without the ult for Vxtrum. Do you think there are any ult combinations we could see coming out from either side, Matt?
I feel like you might see from the Vxtrum boys a combination of potentially the Pip ultimate and the Kinessa ultimate, or maybe you might see Pip and Maldamba. But we'll just have to see from the Vxtrum side. However, on the side of Rogue Warfare, you could see a combination of the Bomb King ultimate and the Ceres ultimate, but in saying that, you could also see Ruckus's ultimate combined there in turn. And so we're going to get back into it, LeBoy.
Seeing as how they have done things last time around, Rogue Warfare are probably going to look to get the Ceres or a Naruto combo with the Ruckus. It seems to be a very effective strat, and it's a strat that a lot of teams in the really top tier divisions of Europe and NA like to do as well. Although he does get taken out before he can use it. Kalta going down as Zeb popped the ult on the killer. Bugs with a nice double kill, forcing the members back. He might go down, and Rox is trying to slither away. Zeb finalizes that kill. VP is getting aggressive. All of Vxtrum are actually, they're trying to push up. Rogue Warfare might have took their foot off the gas as they took the 3-1 lead. But Vxtrum definitely answering back as they're going to look to take this into a 3-3 draw.
Definitely smart plays coming out from the Vxtrum players there, as they might have realized that Rogue Warfare are at a clear ultimate advantage at the moment. As we see, they have 5 on the board there, whereas Vxtrum only have 2 for the moment. So definitely very well played towards the side of Vxtrum, just pushing forward, maintaining the pressure that they needed to in order to take that point. Because if they hadn't, then things might have been different here, and Rogue Warfare could have taken it then, I feel.
Rogue Warfare with 5 ultimates on the board, but there is plenty of time for Vxtrum to push this in. And if they did push this in, it would be the victory for them. They have a minute 50 to do so. It is easily accomplishable, definitely not impossible to try and do this. They don't have a whole lot of ults. There's the Inara ult coming out, takes down Zevenator, almost taking out Xylos, trying to stay alive as best as he can, does go down eventually. VP gets one of his own for the Vxtrum boys. And Lizlak, one of the only people left, if not the only person, having to try and escape, does so successfully. Nice shielding from the Makoa to keep him alive, get his team grouped up, and Vxtrum with a minute 15, it is doable, but they're going to have to start acting fast if they want to get this push in.
Yes, and we see the members of Vxtrum starting to move up towards the side of the map, the left side, the statues, but Androxus won't let them have it, as Mitchell gets a nice pick onto VP, and here comes the Bomb King ultimate coming out from Blade of Securus. Unfortunately, not able to do much with it, but that's fine, as Mitchell gets a nice pick of his own, and then Blade of Securus gets one in turn. The members of Rogue Warfare just picking Vxtrum apart for the time being, and I feel like this could be a successful defense potentially coming out from them, LeBoy.
I would say that this will be the successful defense. And what Vxtrum have done is they baited out the Bomb King ult and also the Inara ult. So if they were to just sit back and not let Inara do any damage so that she won't have her ult, then that could be a huge factor in the next and final point. Seeing Vxtrum will have all 5 ults going into the next fight if they choose not to use any. If they used any, it would be very, very foolish of them, seeing as they don't really have a chance of capping this point. Trincaled with a couple of kills there, but with 5 ults heading into the next point, Vxtrum have a clear advantage, as Rogue Warfare are down the Bomb King ult and will probably have the Inara ult up for the time being. Vxtrum look to try and take this 4th and final point. Matt, do you see Vxtrum taking it, or do you perhaps see a Rogue Warfare comeback?
Well, Vxtrum do have the ultimate advantage here, but if Rogue Warfare play their cards smartly and manage to bait out some of the ultimates of Vxtrum, as they have done in the past, for example, through the use of the Inara wall, just completely shutting them off the point at the right moment, we could see the point go either way, really, LeBoy.
3, 2, 1.
Absolutely, and there are a couple of items I want to just quickly look at. VP has triple blast shield, despite the fact that Bomb King is the only threat. Doesn't really care about Mitchell on the Andro, has triple blast shield, and then there's also 4 triple resiliences to help counter the Pip ult and the Xylos ult. Speaking of ults, coming out left, right, and center, VP got 2 of his own. Looks like Vxtrum actually coming out on top. Coot is going to have to stay alive. He is doing so, but barely. Puts the wall to try and keep himself in it right now. Is not getting heals, unfortunately. Blade Shakura is trying to go around the side right now. Might get taken down. VP sitting back, almost lost. Xylos is capping the point the whole time. Calder dives on, pops the ult, tries to do what he can. This could be a Rogue Warfare turnaround. They did get 2 picks. They're forcing Vxtrum back. Lizlak, Xylos, and VP, the only 3 alive. 96% Vxtrum don't want to lose the point here, but Rogue Warfare have come on with such aggression, and they look to take this back.
They do indeed, LeBoy. And unfortunately for Vxtrum, they're being pushed back quite effectively here. Earlier on, when Rogue Warfare were first pushing onto the point, I saw Ruckus had ulted, and Lizlak missed an opportunity there, I feel, where Ruckus was on essentially 1 piece of health, and unfortunately he wasn't able to hit the shot there to take him out of the equation. And we see the results of him still being alive now. But it seems like both teams are managing to give each other quite the fight here, Inara being on the point basically by herself, and unfortunately for Vxtrum, it's gonna be a Rogue Warfare victory. That was one hell of a close match there, LeBoy.
That very, very last fight, it was VP and Bugs alive, having to take on 3 members of Rogue Warfare. VP picked up 2, got taken down by the last member of Rogue Warfare, which was Kunt on the Inara. So it got put into an Inara versus Pip 1v1. Bugs tried to stay alive as best he can, but Inara took him down. If he's had to stay alive for a split second more, I think Xylos and Zevenator on Maldumbam and Makoa could have dived the point, but a split second too late, and unfortunately for Vxtrum, that will be a Rogue Warfare victory. Very, very well played to both teams. Extremely hard to pick an MVP for that match. Is there anyone that you've been looking at that comes into mind?
Well, honestly, I feel like Blade of Shakuras did a lot of work for his team, trying his best to shut VP down. Not working out for him sometimes, however, he was successful in certain instances of the map. So I feel like without him doing what he could to shut down VP, then potentially the map could have gone Vxtrum's way.
I feel like a player that's kind of been undershadowed this whole time has been Kunt. He did win that last 1v1 fight, which pretty much just won them the game, and throughout the entire match he did perform consistently well, had the second least amount of deaths, and also had the second most kills, just one off behind VP. Also had quite a bit of objective time, had the equal joint highest kill streak, and did a solid amount of damage for an Inara. So, and seeing as we already have given out some healer and some DPS MVPs, I'd probably say Kunt deserves this one. Would you agree?
Most definitely, LeBoy. See, Kunt did so much work for his team, playing the Inara as effectively as you would expect of an ex-Avant-Garde member. So yes, I'm going to agree with you on that one, LeBoy. Props to Kunt. You've done very well, mate.
And also, I'd probably say maybe just behind him would have been Calder, who was his partner in crime there, the duo tanks. He did 78k damage. And he also had 27 assists, followed by 15 kills of his own. Did die a few times and was often caught out of position. But overall, it was a solid match from both the two tanks. So well played all round and to all teams that competed this week. It was enjoyable to watch all you guys. Hopefully, if you weren't in the stream this week and your team wasn't in the tournament, then next week you can sign up and we might cast your games. And hopefully you guys can see your teams up on the big screen. And the raffle, for those of you that aren't watching the chat itself, you can enter in to get some Ash Helion skins. I believe there's 2 up for grabs if they haven't been won already. So definitely try and join that. Massive props to GameStar for setting that up. They're a great bunch of fellas. So if you see them around, then be sure to let them know that they're a good lot of fellas. And I think EJ here, do you have any takes on it?
Price is about to close the raffle, so we might as well draw it now and get our winners. Bit of a drum roll.
Well, there you go.
Matt's pretty good at a drum. Oh, the bot's misbehaving. Looks like I'm getting Ash Helion skin after all. We'll give it a double away next week, guys. So apologies. Tune in next Wednesday, and we'll have extra skins to give away. I want to thank the casters for tonight, LeBoy and Matt SE. Briz Vegas Styles bringing the matches for Paladins. Crisis on Productions. And that's about it for this week for GameStar's Heypal and Season 2. Thank you, everybody. And that's it for us. We'll catch you all next week.